Batch transaction processing, generation of bills. So, this process involves an organization putting together documents for all their customers at once in order to notify each individual customer the amount of payment they are owing for an organization's services for a set period of time, such as monthly or yearly. Hence the batch process. We're doing all the customers at once, and it's obviously the more efficient way of doing it, okay, when we can pull all the data from the same source and send it all out at once to all the customers. These systems make use of procedures such as mail merge, which use a template document that would contain formatting and logos specific to a business, as well as a general message for all their customers to read. You may have seen this in your emails before, where you get a copy of an email which is clearly sent to thousands of people from some sort of site that you signed up with, but it has your name inserted and some sort of customized message in some sort of portion being sent specific for you. And that's how it's done. This is done through the same process of generation of bills. It's a mail merge. The next step here is merging all these specific customer details from the system's master file into the template document. These fields would most likely include the customer's name, their specific address, or their email address, depending on how they're going to receive this bill. So, if it is their actual living address, that's so the bill can be sent specifically to their household through the traditional physical postal mail. But these days as well, it's very common to receive a bill through using an email address, and the bill is then digitally emailed to a customer's inbox. And then obviously the most important part on this is how much is due for billing. So the billing amount, how much does this customer is expecting to pay to continue the service that they're actually buying here. So this is how much they need to pay in order for them to stay signed up with this organization. All these details for each customer would be retrieved from the system's master file and inserted into the document, with the system duplicating the file of the template and creating an individual document specific for each individual customer. So, although we have one template file, as said here, it might be copied 1,000 times and customized for 1,000 different customers. Okay, inserting their names, asserting their email or postal address, and asserting their billing amount into the document specific. So we might have 1,000 specific customized documents for each of the customers come out of this one template. These documents are then mailed or emailed to each customer based on their mailing information. So we only have to do the process once, but it may create 1,000 documents for us, which all will get sent automatically based on the data within the system related to mailing or email addresses. So let's try to illustrate this first as a context diagram. And we have here our bill generating system. Now, you might not need to show this, but I have showed a user accessing the system, though it is highly likely this will be automated. But the fact I've chosen to show a user, it's kind of show what data is going into the system. Whereas if I didn't show a user, I wouldn't be able to show this because there would be no entity showing what data is going to the system. So you can get away with not necessarily showing this user. But I'm showing this so we can see that the customer or the user would need to query what customers are due for billing. So they might do some sort of date search, okay, and then it will bring back which customers are owing, because some customers might pay yearly or some customers might pay monthly. And also they need to open the appropriate template to be used for the mail merge to occur to create these bills. The system would give back to them the query results. These are the customers that are due for billing. All right, and by having that, then we need to then also give back to them once the mail merge is completed, the actual merged documents which are going to be sent for them to see and make sure they're okay. Once they see that these merged documents are okay, they've got to send them out. So as said, we've used one template. Let's say there's 4 customers. Each of these 4 customers is going to receive their own customized bill, saying their specific name on the bill, having their specific address on the bill or email address on the bill, and the specific amount they are owing as a part of their plan for the service that the actual business is providing. So I hope you can see that, and hence why it's a batch process. We did this process once, but out of it we created 4 specific documents specific to each of these customers. So now let's take a look at it as a data flow diagram. Once again, starting with the user, as I said, you could probably start with a process, but at least this gives us a starting point here. What they need to do is access the bill template, the specific template that's going to be used for the message that we're going to be delivering to the customers. Next, we need to actually get the customer. So we need to obtain the data source, and we're going to obtain that data source through querying customers due for billing. And we said that in order to do that, we need to query the customer database. So we do a query who's owing, once again, that date range, and we'll receive the customer IDs who are due for billing. Now that we have the IDs, we can actually retrieve the customer's billing data based on that ID. So we'll enter in all those IDs, and then the system will pull their name, their billing amount due, and their email or postal address into our actual system. But we haven't yet created the document. Okay, what we need to do now is merge that data that we just pulled from the database with the template. Okay, so we've got the customer's billing data, and we're now going to conduct our mail merge and create the multiple documents from that template specific for each customer. So now we've got all those different documents. We now have to send those bills out to each individual customer. And as we said before, each of our 4 customers is going to receive their own customized bill with their own names, their own addresses on them, and the amount owing specific to each of our customers. So I hope this video has given you an understanding of the process behind generating bills. Okay, essentially it's a mail merge. We're using a database's records to pull data out of, okay, and then using a template file customizing the actual document specific to each customer based on what was stored on our customer database.